Hello, everybody. Welcome to Profoundly Speaking. I'm Undrai Fizer. I'm the moderator of this incredible weekly conversation of spirituality that we have. I appreciate every one of you who watches every week faithfully and consistently. I thank every one of you who supported financially and with sharing and listening. And I pray that your week has been great. I pray that every day has been good. Now, we make the day good. We make the day what it is. It's not God. What we know of God in us makes our day. What we know of the Lord to us and for us, as we apply what we know of the Lord, what we apply from knowing the Lord helps make the day powerful. And God's not going to make the world shut up to appease you. God didn't make a nice world. He made a world for our dominion. He's not making the world quiet itself down to make you comfortable. Hello, everyone who's joining us. Seems unfair because we want God to fix the battle, to compensate for our fear of knowing and our lack of doing. So God, if you can quiet the storms, it could give me time to get my footing. And it seems unfair, but God's not going to quiet life to give us time. Whatever we become and whatever we discover, it's a battle to discover it in the midst of the raged war of life itself. I wish God would shut the world up so we could figure it out. But the power is in figuring it out when the world is speaking loud. Because if I'm going to figure it out while the world is screaming, it means that my ear is attentive to the voice of God. It means that I've chosen to shut up life. I've chosen to shut it up. I've chosen to focus on what I desire to be in here. If you know what I'm talking about, raise your hands. God's not going to shut up everything else so you can hear it. You and I have to shut off the voices. And we said this in one of our Excuseless Life book studies. And when we really focus on what we love, it quiets the voice of everything else around us. When we really concentrate on what we love, it quiets everything around us. Let me read something from the Excuseless Life, if you don't mind. I'm not going to be on here long. It's on page 74. The chapter is God Shows Up When We Do. When will you arrive to your divine consciousness? Many deem this as some sort of moral perfection. Many have yet to embrace the fact that this particular perfection is only found in the settledness and comforts of our divine identity. How many of you find yourself comfortably settled in your identity? It means I not only know what I am, but I know the disciplines and laws surrounding who I am. I not only know who I am, but I know all of the disciplines and laws that goes with this function. I know everything that goes with this particular identity. I'm settled in it. Embracing our godness without question. Embracing it so that it now becomes impossible to encounter or even entertain any opposing thought or imagination concerning it. Let me read that again. Embracing our godness without question. Embracing it so that it is now impossible, that it now becomes impossible to encounter or even entertain any opposing thought or imagination concerning it, because I'm settled in it. So God's not going to quiet the world so you could hear. You're going to quiet the world. You're going to shut it down. Your settledness in your divine life and in the kingdom shuts off everything else. Now check this out. When I am settled in me, that's in the Excuseless Life now. When I am settled in me, Every other voice will either die or refrain from even being born. Listen, God's not going to shut up the world to help you. When you discover and recover by intention, when you discover and recover by intention, that means it's left up to your focus. When you focus on who you are, you will shut off the sounds of every other negative thing. You can't tell the world, be quiet. You can't tell them, don't do this. Don't say this. Because the world is not nice. The world is not nice. It's not meant to be nice. It's not meant to be fair. But when you and I are settled on who we are, when you and I are settled on who we are, it says every other voice will either die or refrain from even being born. There are some things that won't be said when you know who you are. Listen, there are some voices that won't speak again until you know who you are. And until you know who you are, you can't shut off opinion, voice, or enemies or anything. The only way to shut up the enemy is to really know who you are. And when you know who you are, there will be no more opposing nothing coming to you to rattle you, because I know what I am. And I know it to the point that no other word will be born to speak against me. Only until I know who I am. If I don't know who I am, other words are going to come forth. And they're not coming from other people. They're coming from you. They're not coming from outside of you. They're coming from your doubt. Whenever we're not sure of who we are, what we're not sure of will talk through us, through other people. What we're not sure of will speak to us. We will speak to ourselves through other people. We will speak to ourselves through other haters. Haters are really us in the form of other people. Haters are really our own doubts and unbeliefs taken on the form of other people outside of us. Am I making sense? Haters are not just showing up. Haters are not coming to you when you're confident. Haters are your own self-doubts coming to you in the form of other people you know. It's other people speaking to you what you've been saying to yourself all along. You understand? Am I making sense, guys? If I'm making sense, raise your hand. Yeah. Whenever there is an accuser, it's because you've already accused yourself. And when you're not sure of who you are and what you are, your own doubts speak loud to you through other people. They come to you through other people. That's something. It's almost like your doubts is acting like a ventriloquist. You know how these entertainers, they have this cap, and they can say, hey, Cap, hey, how's everybody? How are you doing? You say, so what are you doing? Oh, I'm not doing nothing. You know, and they're talking through the image. It's them talking through the image. What are you doing? Well, I'm not doing nothing. You know you know what I'm talking about. And so that's what happens when you don't know who you are. Other people will tell you who you think you are. Your own doubts will speak through you through other people. But whenever you are settled in the purpose, not just knowing who you are, but in how to live who you are. How to live who you are. We talk about that a lot in our class. We talked about decrees, and we talk about being an ambassador. And so we talk about the literal law of being an ambassador. What is it like to be an actual official of the kingdom? And sometimes on our jobs, we know our work numbers, we know our badge numbers, we know all of the policies. But when it comes to the kingdom, we sort of make up different rules. We sort of make up different things as we go. We don't know. We haven't been to orientation in the kingdom. We haven't been to orientation. We don't know what our job assignments are. We sort of take what we do and make it a purpose, but we haven't been to orientation. We hadn't filled out the applications. We haven't done a background check. We haven't tested our skills. We haven't done drug tests. So there are so many things in the kingdom as it relates to policy we don't know. But we declare ourselves as legal officials of this major government, but we don't know our purpose. We don't know what's our jobs. We don't know our orientations. And we sort of just throw decrees out and about. We sort of just claim and make up spiritual rules and just go at it. You follow what I'm saying? So we miss the authenticity and significance and the relevance and the naturalness of spirituality. Because we can look at spirituality as just some symbolism of another world and not knowing that the spirituality has some sort of a tangible naturalness to it. How many of you know what I'm talking about? And in the midst of that, we don't really know what we are. And so we don't know all of the rules of who we are. And so we look at spirituality as just being as perfect as we can, not cussing, lying, and cheating, and praying and reading the Bible. So we got some basic things of just spiritual symbolism, but we don't know the governmental influence of what our life brings to the table. And so we just sort of use a spiritual symbolism here, and we sort of miss all of the disciplines and the laws and the dynamics, because there is a science to faith. Write that down. There is a science. There is a divine science to faith. I wrote this earlier, and I won't hold you. I wrote this early this morning. The deeper you go in the ocean, the more different and unorthodox the creatures look. Fish that you catch on the surface do not survive that way in the deep. The deeper you go in the ocean, the more exotic the fish become. The more you begin to see life in ways that's not at the surface. When you're at the surface, you can catch surface fish, basic fish. But when you go deep in the ocean, there is a world and there is a life. There is a life down in the deep that you don't see up in the shallows of the ocean. There are lights and worlds and fish that don't go up there that totally exist in the deep. So the revelation of God and the reality of God changes the deeper as you go. Some of us see a little white Jesus or Jesus. Yeah, I said a little white Jesus on the fan up in the shallows with the beard and stuff. But the deeper you go, you begin to see a different culture of Jesus. You begin to see a different Jesus as you go. You begin to see God differently as you go in the deeper. As you go into the deeper realms of God, you see different unorthodox things. You see different things. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? The deeper you go, the more uncommon Christ looks. The deeper you go in the kingdom, the more difficult and unexplainable it is, because you can't see that from the banks. You can't see that. The deeper you go in the ocean, it's a whole nother world. You look at fish that look like something else. You're like, what is that? Stuff you don't see in the paintings. The deeper you go, the more exotic the truth becomes. Those truths at the top is something, it'll change anytime. But the truths at the depths of the ocean, they don't change, because you got to put on a suit to go that deep in the ocean. You will die, not because you're going to drown, but the pressure of the ocean can break your bones apart. And when you are ascending out of the ocean, you got to swim in pace. You just can't swim up. You got to take your time for your body to decompress from the pressure. There is a pressure to go into the depths of the spirit. There's a pressure to go into. You just don't go there out of revelation. No, there is a pressure to go into the ocean of God's mind. The deeper you go, there is another world. The kingdom is another world. The deeper you go, even the animals, the plant life is different. The lights are different. It's different the deeper you go. How many of you understand what I'm saying? So when you say I'm a certain thing, you got to know, what's the discipline of this position? What am I? What do I know when I speak? Am I speaking as an official or am I speaking as a slave? When I say I'm an ambassador, am I really an official of a government? Do I really know? How do I live my lifestyle in this position? Am I just living as this position because it's Sunday? Because when I know what my assignment is, the days don't matter. I live it every day. It's my diet. It's my relationship. It's what I am. It's my exercise. You understand? When you find out who you really are, all of your life begins to live that way. And you just don't live that way when you feel good about it. You live that way. You just don't live that position when you're feeling real happy about it. When you discover what you are and who you are, when you discover who you are and when you're settled in it, every other voice will die or refrain from even being born. When you discover who you are, whatever you thought you was going to hear won't be heard, because it's up to you to shut the volume down on anything that speaks against you. And you can't tell those other volumes not to talk. You can't tell the world to talk, not to talk. Because whatever you are not sure of yet in you, you will hear it from outside of you through somebody else. Whatever you are not sure of in yourself, you will project it to be spoken to you from other people outside of you. Once you become sure of who you are, you will shut down those voices. They won't even talk when you know who you are. When you know who you are, you won't hear nothing against you anymore. I'm telling you the truth. But this is a life of intention. This is not a life of, I hope to do it. You got to put muscle behind this exercise. You have to put muscle behind it. You have to put intention behind it. You can't live this life by imagination and by osmosis. You have to intentionally practice this life every day. You can't live it until you get results. I was talking to a friend of mine today. You could be a person that's out of shape. Let's say you're overweight. And you get a trainer. Well, the trainer is not just going to give you exercises to do. The trainer is going to give you the lifestyle of a slim person. Exercise when you're overweight and want to get in shape. The trainer is not just going to give you exercises to do until you lose weight. And then when you see a little weight loss, you give yourself a cheat day and go do the thing that made you overweight. Whenever you are being trained by a trainer, the trainer will give you the lifestyle of a slim person. So the overweight person can practice the lifestyle of a slim person until the overweight person becomes a slim person. When you're trying to discover your purpose, God's going to give you the lifestyle of a God while you're overweight in your thought life. He's not just giving you principles and exercises. God will interject to you the lifestyle of a God so you can live what a God lives while you are not a God. And that's going to create a tension, because when God is teaching you, he's giving you his lifestyle to practice while you are still out of shape. And that's what causes the fights, because most of us only want to do it enough until we see some results. But God don't want you to practice his life until you see results. He wants you to practice his life until you become his life. God is not trying to give you exercises until you see something. He's giving you his life until you become it. You understand? If I'm overweight and I get a trainer, the trainer is going to give me the lifestyle of a slim person until I become what I'm acting like, until I become the lean person. He's not giving me these exercises just to lose weight. He's showing me the lifestyle of the person I want to be before I become that person. Am I making sense? Some of us just want to lose weight. Others want to become the person. Some of us just want to get rid of mistakes and poverty and sin. And some of us want to be God. Some of us want to be what we were born to be, while some of us just want life to get better. See, if you're just wanting life to get better, you are going to fail in practicing the divine life. But when you want to become the Father, when you want to become what the Christ is, then Christ is going to give you his life to practice until you become a Christ. If you just want to lose some weight, if you just want to get some applause, if you just want folks to say you were right, if you just want people to say you good, if you just want applause and celebration from people, you don't want enough. You're going to quit as soon as somebody clap for you. Am I making sense? Yeah. When you overweight, the trainer will give you the lifestyle of a slim person and have you to practice slim living. But if you're just trying to lose some weight for the family reunion and the class reunion, as soon as you lose a few pounds, you're going to quit the practice. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. You're going to quit the practice as soon as you lose a little weight. As soon as you get a little success, you're going to quit the process. See, if God is teaching you how to be God, he's teaching you so you can be God for the rest of your life. Not to be God until... How many of you are looking to be divine for the rest of your life? Or just until you no longer are corrected by other people? I want to get it so I won't be corrected. Or are you looking to be the fullness of Christ for the rest of your life? Am I making sense? Just let me know. Yeah. It means, Undrai, I want to be the fullness of the Christ life for the rest of my life. I just don't want to lose 20 pounds to get into the bikini. Some of us are just trying to get enough of the identity to get into the bikini. Some of us are trying to lose enough weight in our spirit just so we can be a teacher. Some of us are just trying to lose some of this access issue so we can stop being corrected. But that ain't enough. God teaches those who are ready to be Christ for the rest of their life. God teaches us when we're ready to be for the rest of our entire life. God is not wanting to teach you until. Did that make sense? Brittany, did that make sense? God isn't trying to teach us until we see some results. God wants to teach you to be fed by him for the rest of your life. God's not trying to teach you until you lose some inches. God is trying to give you the lifestyle so you can continue his reality. God's not trying to give us this lifestyle until our enemies say, okay. God wants to give us his lifestyle so we can be this for the rest of our life. See, the reason we're not patient with this life is we got a time limit that we want to show off something to somebody. But once you know we're going to be this for the rest of our life, you can throw the clocks away. It's no need to hurry up and show anybody anything because I'm practicing who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I'm only impatient when I want to show off something to somebody. And when I feel that they're going to move off somewhere and I won't be able to show off, I got to hurry up and lose this so I can hurry up and catch them so they can see that how much I lost. But when you know this is going to be the rest of your life, you can let the rest of your people go. You can let everybody else go wherever they're going to be because I'm going to be here the rest of my life. Am I making sense? I'm only impatient when the people I want to show off to seem like they're getting ready to move. And if they move, I'm going to have to catch them and show them who I am. And I don't want them to move yet until I lose enough weight to show them what they missed out on. Am I making sense, guys? But when I know this is a lifelong reality, I don't need to show off to anybody. They can leave. Because I'm going to be here the rest of my life. I can afford, I can wait. Because I'm going to be here doing this the rest of my life. I don't have to catch up with old folks so they can see how I changed. They can leave. I'm making sense, right? When you are settled in who you are, those voices will die or you will keep them from ever being born. So before I go, How many of you recognize that God is giving you a lifestyle of God even while you're training? God is giving you the lifestyle of the vine even before you get it, so you can start practicing the divine life before you even have it. When you want to lose weight, the trainer gives you a slim person's lifestyle to practice while you're overweight. We usually quit because we just want to lose some pounds. And those who want the lifestyle, they continue practicing the lifestyle because it's not about the weight, it's about the life. If you're only in this because of the weight, you're going to quit. Am I making sense? Hey, that's my time. And I don't need to be redundant. So join me Tuesday, 7 o'clock on Zoom, 786-770-2646. That's the code. And just join me on it at 7 o'clock Central Standard. And go to the App Store or Google Play stores and download the Fizer Interglobal app. There's videos and podcasts and words that are spoken daily. And check it out. Okay? And my books and everything else that you want to know about this. Wherever there is a will, there is a way. When you're ready to live for the kingdom, you will see it. But if you're just trying to lose a little weight, you're going to quit it. As soon as you lose some inches, you're going to think you got it. You understand? Did y'all understand my analogy? Hey, if you want to sow financially in our work, go to Cash App at $Coach Fizer and give whatever you want. Or take the app and go to financial investments or giving financially and give an offering through the app. Okay? That's through PayPal. Whatever you want to do, you can. If it's an offering, if it's a tithe, if it's an investment, whatever you want to sow, you can. Okay? And let's keep practicing this life together. Once again, when you want to lose weight, the trainer will train you in the lifestyle of the slim. The trainer will give you a healthy person's lifestyle to practice, even while you're out of shape. You hear what I'm saying? God will give you a Christ life to practice, even though you're out of shape. And if you're just trying to lose weight, you're going to quit. But if you want the life, and if you want to be a Christ, you're going to keep practicing the lifestyle, whether you're big or small. Am I making sense? Much love to you, and share this when I share it. Peace and love.